Hello, I'm Raymond Medici. Welcome to our Spawn and Bulk Substrate workshop video. Today we have some Choir Verm substrate that we made in our bucket. It's a 5-gallon bucket. We're going to do some Spawn and Bulk substrate in mono tubs and dub tubs. To start off with, we have this mono tub. And we have a liner. Our monotub is modified. It's set up with MicroPost filter circles. These are really great for doing modified monotub setups. We like to prep our tub by spraying inside with some isopropyl alcohol really quick. We're just doing this so that the liner will easily stick to the inside of the tub. This liner is just a smidge bigger than I wanted it, and I left it that way as an example, because sometimes you get in a place where you didn't prep something exactly the way you wanted it and you need to cut it really quick or modify it. So we're going to modify it a little bit and cut some plastic off and then get our liner pushed down into our tub. Going to push your liner down into your tub, nice and easy like that, and then you want to spread out the bottom of it and press it up against the sides where you sprayed the alcohol. Once you get it pressed up on the sides the way that you like it, you can move to filling it with some substrate. We're going to end up using 2 to 4 quarts of substrate. We have a measuring cup that we're going to use to put the substrate into the monotub. We have a jar of colonized grain spawn that we are going to break up and spawn in this tub. I like to spread out the first quart or 1.5 quarts of substrate really nicely so it pushes the sides of your liner up against the tub for you and stays in place. After we get about 1 quart or 1.5 quarts of substrate in here, we're going to break up our jar and put our jar in. Here's our jar of colonized grain spawn. We use a rag rolled up to break up the jar. It's a nice safe way of breaking up the jar. You don't want to bang it against your body or hard surfaces. A foam roller or a rolled up rag works really great. Okay, we got that broken up. We're going to add this jar of colonized grain spawn to our monotub. You always want to take a good smell and make sure your grain spawn is healthy. If your grain spawn is healthy, it will smell like delicious mushrooms. There we go. We got our jar of grain spawn in there. We're going to add the rest of the substrate that we want to add. Another 1.5 quarts to 2 quarts. Doesn't have to be exact. You can go with a 1:2, 1:3, or possibly a 1:4 ratio with your spawn to substrate ratio. Okay, got a pretty good amount in there. We're going to mix this up really well. After we mix this up really well, we're going to level it out, and then we're going to put a small amount of substrate on the top of our spawn to bulk substrate monotub setup so that it makes a pseudo casing layer. The pseudo casing layer increases the consistent colonization of your surface area and allows for maximum pinning and really increases your surface conditions and the BE or bioefficiency of your grow setup. Okay, we got this all mixed up really nice, and we're going to level it out. We're leveling it out. It's really important to make sure it's level but you don't want to press it down too hard. You can gently press it down while you're leveling it. You don't want to smash it though. I'm going to turn this tub just for the sake of getting everything really even. We will share this tub in a later video. Okay, as you can see, we got that leveled out really nicely. I'm going to take a second measuring cup that has not touched any grain spawn and use it to put a small amount of substrate on the top of this setup so we can make our pseudo casing layer. This is very important because I do not want to seed my substrate with any culture, so I want to use a perfectly clean measuring cup to put in the last bit of substrate to cover my grains and create my pseudo casing layer. We really enjoy doing these setups this way, but it is not 100% necessary. You could just level it out and be done and put the lid on your mono tub and put it in your fruiting chamber or in your fruiting room or space that you have available. So we put our small amount of substrate on for our pseudo casing layer, and then we're leveling it out again, making sure we're covering up our grains. Okay, I went a little bit shy and I need one more scoop here. There we go. Make sure that we're covering this up nicely and it's nice and even. There you have it. That is our mono tub all set up and leveled out with our pseudo casing layer on. This was a modified mono tub. Has a gasket on it, has micropost filter patches. Really great setup. Thank you very much for joining us for this spawn to bulk substrate workshop video.